Sentiments of probably every person that's sitting on this side of the desk and probably every person that's out here and every person watching. Obviously, the events of Friday was like a widespread just damage everywhere, trees on roads, trees on houses, trees on power lines, and really I don't recall this much power outage since we had the biggest ice storm some years ago. The utility workers have worked really nonstop since Friday to work on this. But I think as a group here, we want to say thank you to all of those folks. Bobby, you and your guys, Sheriff, you and the deputies, the city police, our firefighters, Bob, OEM, all the folks with Warren Rural Electric, Franklin Electric Plant Board, and all the other utility people that came in to help and are still working to get power restored. As bad as things were Friday, it could have been much, much worse, but our folks here jumped right in, got to work, taking care of things, and we just want to say thank you. We appreciate what you do. Thank you doesn't seem like a lot when you're having to deal with some of the things that you were doing, but you do a great job, and I know that I think these guys, I'll let them speak for themselves on it, and I think this community is very appreciative of what y'all do and how you take care of things. So thank you very much. You gentlemen want to say anything to that before we get into the business?
That pretty much sums it all.
Thank you very much. Much obliged.
Yeah. All right, we're going to move on to business here. If you had an opportunity to review the minutes of our February 21st regular court meeting, we need a motion and a second to approve those minutes.
Make a motion.
Got a motion by Jeffrey.
Second.
Second by Myron. Any question, discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next, we have Ms. Jada Freeman with us today. I love her shirt. And she's presenting the Sheriff's 2022 fee settlement.
All right, on your portals, you'll see a document, a colorful document. It looks similar to this. On these reports, I try to keep them as simple as possible, yet as informative as possible. If you'll draw your attention to the right-hand corner, you'll see a number, $833,662. That's what the Sheriff's Office turned over for the year of 2022. I'm just asking Fiscal Court to accept this settlement pending state audit. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I'll make a motion, but then I have a question.
All right, so we got a motion to accept the Sheriff's 2022 fee settlement.
Second.
And second by Myron. The motion was by Marty, Pam. Second by Myron. Marty, did you say you had a question?
The collection percentage.
The percentage of, to what? The previous year? Or?
Yeah, what you collected, was it like in the 90s, 96?
Oh, for taxes, we are 92%, I believe.
Okay, good.
And that usually increases dramatically as we approach April.
Okay.
Any
Everything
other
looks
question or discussion? All right, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, Jada.
Thank you.
All right, next, gentlemen, we have two appointments to the Tourism Commission. We have the Tourism Director, Amy Ellis, with us. She informed me that I better not mess this up this morning, so y'all work with me here. We need a motion and a second to reappoint Laney Snyder to a 3-year term, which will be effective March 17th of 2023. We'll run through March 16th of 2026. And then to appoint Christine McDaniel as a hotel representative to the Tourism Commission for a 3-year term, also effective March 17th, 2023, to run through March 16th of 2026.
So moved.
Got a motion by Marty?
Second.
Second by Jeffrey. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Amy, you can put thank you. I got a thumbs up, so that means I'm not in trouble. Thank you, guys. You can put these ladies to work. I do appreciate what y'all do, too. You've done a great job with the tourism since taking over. Next, if you had the opportunity to review the first reading of fiscal year 22-23 budget ordinance number 220.249, amendment number 5. We need a motion and a second to approve that budget amendment.
So moved.
Got a motion by Myron,
Second.
second by Scott. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, Pam.
Roll call.
Yes.
Scott Poston.
Yes.
Marty Chandler.
Yes.
Jeff Burr.
Yes.
Mason Barnes.
Yes. Next, gentlemen, if you reviewed the zone change ordinance, we need a motion and a second to approve first reading of that ordinance number 920.122. This is by recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission on a tract of land out on Purdue Farms Road from ag to residential.
So moved.
Got a motion by Marty,
Second.
second by Myron. Any question or discussion? So Pam?
I'd just like to say we have a lot of these come up.
Do what?
We have a lot of these zone change. If somebody wonders why I don't question anything, that's why we have planning and zoning. So if they recommend it, they went through the findings of facts, and there's been no change from the planning and zoning meeting to now. So that's the reason I don't ever question zone change when it comes to this.
Any other question, discussion? All right, Pam, we'll do the roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
Scott Poston.
Yes.
Jeffrey Burr.
Yes.
Mason Barnes.
Yes. All right, next you have in front of you, we were contacted by the folks with the state about turning in some roads for discretionary funding. And so they asked us to come up with 2 or 3. The form we send in has 4, so we turn in 4. We don't know how many we'll get. But Bobby has looked over the roads and taken into consideration the length and condition and so on and so forth. But you see his recommendation of the 4 roads to be turned in for possibly receiving some discretionary funding. We just need a motion and a second to approve this list so we can go ahead and submit that form to the state.
So moved.
Got a motion by Marty,
Second.
second by Jeffrey. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. And then finally, you see, we always, at this time of year, put on the seasonal employee for mowing and such with the Public Works. And that's what this employee resolution is. So we need a motion and a second to approve employee resolution 2023-03-07 EMP-PW.
So moved.
Got a motion by Scott,
Second.
second by Myron. Any question, discussion? Bobby, you probably put them to work right now. A lot of people's already, I think this is the earliest in March I've seen people mowing their yards already. Some people were mowing at the end of February. All in favor, aye? Aye. What, Myron, was you one mowing in February?
Yeah.
Couldn't wait to get started.
Put it off as long as I could.
Yeah, I had to mow myself. I had to mow yesterday myself. So it's that time.
He don't want to get in trouble with the code enforcement. Right.
That's right. Oh, me. It is good to have a little fun. All right. Next, if you reviewed the cash transfer of $10,613.41 from the federal grant fund to the general fund, we need a motion and a second to approve that transfer.
So moved.
Got a motion by Scott,
Second.
second by Jeffrey. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next, we have just budget transfers that the county treasurer has put together to work through the budget. We'd need a motion and a second to approve those transfers as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion by Myron,
Second.
second by Marty. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Did you skip over the CD rates?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll back up. We'll go ahead and vote on this one, then we'll back up. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? All right, CD rates, yes. We talked, last week, or last meeting, I say last week. Last meeting, we talked about putting some money in a CD for the park, and then we have other money in CDs that I think can be moved, correct, Nicole?
Yes.
And so we,
Well, they're not in CDs, they're in money markets.
any money markets,
So
but we
they
can
don't
move
have
them to,
term,
we,
they can be moved.
yeah, they can be moved to a CD at any point. And you see the rates that we're getting for the current money market, and you see the rate that is offered for the CD. So it would be my suggestion, under the recommendation of the county treasurer, that we move these money markets to a CD with Edward Jones at a rate of 5.1%, and we put that $1 million in a CD with Edward Jones at the 5.1%.
So will we put that other in that also, the other that's on that check?
We have two current ones as the money markets. They were CDs, we moved them to money markets, so those are the top two. And then you all talked about doing the $1 million park. And then the last one is, I don't know if you all remember back when we did budget. And of course, when we did budget, we had some, it didn't balance. We had more revenue than appropriation. So we put that 437 in like a capital expense line item appropriation. And we talked about possibly doing something with the CD and gaining interest on that. So I thought since we were doing what we were doing, you all might want to consider that as well, so.
That'd be
Oh,
all,
I'd say so.
everything then would be going to
Yeah.
Edward Jones.
And I'll
Yes,
just combine
but-
that 490
Yeah.
amount into that other one, that 520 at the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we,
Yeah, and you see what the difference in the rates like
Oh, yeah.
currently,
Oh, yeah.
what we could get.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So,
I made a motion.
as part of the Scott, probably part of the motion would be to put these monies in that CD and authorize the county treasurer and county judge to sign or appropriate this
Yeah,
money, however we need to do what needs to be done to
Okay.
effectuate this change.
Right.
okay.
Is
Take
that
whatever
as clear,
action
is that as
sounds
clear as
good.
mud,
Take
Pam?
whatever action is necessary to affect the motion.
There you go. Are you good with that, Scott?
I am, sir.
All right.
Second.
Myron, second. We got a motion by Scott and a second by Myron. Any other question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next, if you had an opportunity to review the bills and claims, we'll need a motion and a second to approve those claims as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Marty,
Second.
second by Myron. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. And then finally, under financial business, if you had an opportunity to review the February 28, 2023 financial statement, we need a motion and a second to approve that financial statement subject to audit and authorize the county treasurer and the county judge to sign it.
So moved.
Got a motion by Meyer and a second by Jeffrey. Any question, discussion? All in favor, aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. I want to bring up something. I've said this a few times since I've been here, and I think it's warrants saying again for people that are watching or listening. We move through this financial stuff, and it seems like, I know people watching are probably thinking, gosh, they just ask for a motion, they get a motion in a second, and they're not spending any time. These little devices we have right here, it all gets loaded on there, and these guys have, like 3 or 4 days to look at all of this information. We're not just laying stuff in front of them and they have no idea what we're talking about when we walk in here. So try to expedite the process by getting information to them ahead of time. All right.
And they're public records, so if anybody wants to see them, they're welcome to.
That's true too. It's all public record. Anybody could see any of it. Moving on the portal, I'll point out on the portal there is some IT information. I think it's labeled as IT information.
Hey, you're pretty good.
So if you could, be reading over that, because this is something that we're going to have to take some action on in the pretty near future, because some of it's going to our ability to maintain cybersecurity insurance through CAECO is going to hinge on having some of this in place. I know the sheriff and I talked the other day. There's a few things that are particular to the sheriff's office that may not be able to fall right under some of this. So I need everyone, if you could, to read through this and give us some feedback, so if we need to make some tweaks or changes, we can get all that done so we're able to put this together. Because this will have to be part of our administrative code, which also has to be done by ordinance. So we want to take care of everything that needs to be done. We don't want to have ordinances to change something on the administrative code 2 or 3 times a year. If there's things we need to do, we'd like to do it all at one time, so that there's only one advertising for the ordinance change.
I read through it. Basically, it should say that if you're not using this computer for county business, don't be on it.
Right.
It lists a whole lot of things you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. All right. One, sitting on my desk this morning was a letter from the city where they have annexed 26 acres on Blackjack Road. I believe this is right next to Pine Ridge Trailer Park there on Blackjack Road. There's a development going in beside there that...
That'd be between 1008 and North Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a development going in there that's requested to be annexed to the city, and the city sent us a notice that they've done that annexation. Don't forget, we do have a joint meeting with the city today. I think all the information that we have for that meeting is also on the portal. That's at noon, and it is at City Hall. We've worked on, and Bobby, I may need you at this point. Of course, we talked earlier, Chief, you missed out on the conversation about thanking everyone for all their hard work, so you weren't in on that. So we did do that at the beginning of the meeting, and we really appreciate all that y'all done. I know you guys had y'all's hand full with that fire over there, just the wind, just trying to control that, and just a lot of things happened, but appreciate what y'all done. All of this happened Friday, and one of the things Bob was telling us Friday is we're going to need a place for the public to bring, debris and so forth. It was hard to really work on that over the weekend because most of the people were out trying to clear roads and take care of things that were, safety hazards, and just a lot of things was going on. But yesterday we talked about some of that. Bobby, you don't want to talk about it? I mean, well, you can if I get this wrong, but at any rate, we're going to have a place for the public. I think we did get this worked out. Off of Kenneth Utley Drive, there is a gravel entrance, a gated gravel entrance with access kind of in behind where the convenience center and all is, that the public will be able to bring their brush and trees and stuff like that. Bobby said his guys, if people bring it, could just, dump it out, they could keep it pushed up into a pile and they could keep it burnt and taken care of. And the parks was good with that. Tim Cook, I think, said they would help with it. I think, Bob, do we know for sure I know the governor said yesterday that we would qualify for federal assistance, so will we be eligible for FEMA money?
It looks like we're going to be, the utilities, the damage, financial damage to the utilities is going to put us over our threshold.
Okay. So, and part of that being, and also I should have mentioned this at the beginning, of course, I sent all you guys a text message that day, that Friday. Of course, I issued a state of emergency for the situation, which will qualify us to participate in the FEMA. The other thing it will also qualify us to do, because here's my concern. I mean, I'm glad to have a site for the public to take their stuff, but my concern is if we don't man that site or set like days and times, and we don't man it, we'll get broken down washing machines, bed mattresses, couches, and everything dumped there. This will only be for, storm damaged trees, brush, such as that. So we really are going to need someone out there to kind of man it, to say, here's where you go dump it. Hey, wait a minute, you can't throw that mattress in there. That kind of thing.
What about, say, a building got tore down and that material?
No building debris.
Okay.
Yeah, just trees and shrubs
okay.
and brush. But under the guidelines of FEMA, if we had to pay someone overtime or even hire someone on a part-time temporary basis, I think we get reimbursed for that money, right, Bob?
I believe that's right. I'm waiting for a response to that question right now.
Yeah. And of course, also, because Bobby, I think you would say, if I have to put somebody out there like one day during the week and then on Saturday, I can't lose a guy right now during the week, and I don't know if I can get anybody to volunteer on Saturday. We could probably find someone that would be willing to be out there like maybe one day during the week and a Saturday, or maybe even a couple of different people that we could just have as part-time temporaries. And under the state of emergency, we don't have to go through the formalities of coming in through an approval at fiscal court. We just hire them because it's part of the operation of the state of emergency to man that site. So I guess what I would at least like to do this, for the court to vote to do that pending that we know for sure we have the approval, the FEMA approval, then we could set out to hire someone, at least on a part-time temporary basis, to be out there to man that site, and then we could establish days and times that it would be open to the public to come and drop off their stuff. Because this will probably be something that will have to run for, several weeks. There'll be.
So we'd have a time limit on it, so
the time.
I guess, 6 months from now, we don't want people just, if we don't have storm-related.
Right, yeah, it'll still have, you're right about that, Myron, but it'll still have to run for several weeks because,
True.
There'll be people that'll still be cleaning up stuff, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 8 weeks out from right now. So
Yeah, I understand, yeah.
I would think that we'll have to keep it open for at least 8 to 12 weeks just to accommodate people in their work schedule. A lot of people work, every day, and they only have the weekend to clean up or whatever they're doing.
We just want to make certain that everybody understands this is because of the emergency.
Yeah.
We went through. This is not going to be a.
This is all part of the state of emergency declaration, and I think about this too, and most of y'all will know this. You get tornado damage, and it's usually a path or an isolated area, and you do have trees down, and sometimes several. This is countywide. There are trees they're down everywhere.
Well, the Messinette site at Coomer Road registered an 80 mile an hour, so it's hurricane force winds right there.
Yeah.
So so it's almost like a hurricane.
And it
coming
didn't just
through
blow
here.
like that for an hour either. It blew like that for hours.
Like a hurricane, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know
how
if-
quickly? Because I got people calling, ready to pull the trigger.
We can have it ready to go ASAP. I don't know how quickly we can man it because here's the thing. I want to help the public have a
Yeah.
place to do it, but we cannot have them dumping mattresses and.
Yeah.
And that's what will happen.
And that's what would
Yeah,
happen if it
yeah.
wasn't manned.
Is it just gonna be for individuals, the public, or is it gonna be for these people also that are hired to clear for people to also dump their stuff, that are getting paid for that to get took care of? You see what I mean? The people are paying them to clean up their
They're paying to
tree.
clean up the mess, but
Clean
then
up the
they've
mess.
got to haul it off.
They gotta haul it off, so are we allowing them to do it, or just individual homeowners?
Are you talking about tree service?
Yeah,
They deal with that every day.
Yeah,
At their places.
yeah.
okay. So we just need to make it where individual homeowners,
Simpson County residents,
Residents.
not professional businesses, but just Simpson
But-
County residents.
I'll make the motion, but I don't think it should be contingent upon getting FEMA. I think it's not gonna cost a lot of money to man it for a couple of days a week on a part-time basis, so I say I move to provide the site and man it, and if we can get FEMA assistance, great, but if we can't, we just pay for somebody to man it for a couple of days a week.
I mean,
I'm
I'm
fine
good.
with that.
I'm good with it,
I'm
'cause
fine
I
with
mean,
that.
I don't know what we'll have to pay somebody, $15 an hour or something, and
If we can find somebody that's
and maybe if we
They're
could
pretty
do.
much just gonna be there making sure that's just
Well,
brush. and-
Yes, the entrance to this place, I understand it, right, has a gate over it. So we would open the gate on the
Yeah.
days we'd open the gate, and whoever's manning it would be sitting there and saying, right over there is where you dump it.
Yeah, yeah,
Or they'd be hollering, hey, don't put that mattress out there, put that back in your truck.
yeah.
Yes, so
do
we
that
just,
guy we just done, just approve, be able to start doing that, or
well,
instead of doing the I mean, he ain't gonna be mowing right now, so I mean,
I've got one individual in mind that I'm gonna talk to, and I'm sure there may be somebody watching or
yeah.
whatever, they'll come forward and say, hey, I'm retired, that would be something I could do a couple days a week, and, I don't know.
you gonna put it
I
on.
think we can find
got a
somebody.
guy, I have a guy in mind that
Okay.
that would be great at sitting there and giving directions. Wouldn't he?
Yeah,
I don't know what volume we're gonna look at, but there may be a need for just a little bit of equipment that would tie ours up, in other words, like a skid steer, we have them, but I'm just saying.
so you're saying we may need to rent a piece
I'm
of,
just saying, it might come down to where because, you know what my crew's doing, and if it's gonna take that full equipment away, which I think we can, but I'm just saying it might come to that, maybe an occasion for a day or two, where we might want to do a piece of equipment, possible.
okay.
Just keep that in mind.
But that wouldn't be something we'd have to rent long-term, you wait till it gets piled up, and then
Well,
if we can get approval from a fire chief, we can burn it and keep it pushed up.
Yeah, and of course, let's just proceed. If Marty's got a motion, that we'll go ahead and hire at least one person to man this a couple of days a week, and if we get the FEMA assistance and reimbursement, that's great. We'd need a second to that. And as part of that motion, would it be, I mean, you are authorizing them to do it. Usually we do this by employee resolution, and we have a name and know. Is this part of this motion, just if we can find somebody that we
Yeah.
know can do it?
I
we'll
I
just-
would say we could find up to 2 people, that way, because one person might not be able to work every weekend or whatever, and
Just a second.
So you second the
I do,
motion's gone?
and, yep.
but,
Okay.
but
Well,
yeah.
I think we can do that. And as far as equipment, I mean, we'll meet again in, 2 or 3 weeks? We meet again. If we think we need equipment out there or whatever, we can take that up at that point. If we see you're not having
Well,
time to.
That's gonna start before 2 or 3 weeks.
No, as soon as we can get someone manned, and I think we can probably get
Yeah.
someone
Today.
before the end of the day.
Okay. Just
and-
let
and-
us know, because I've got to call
Yeah, I will
these
send,
folks
I will
back.
send you guys out a text as soon as
Okay.
we get it opened and as soon as we know what days we'll man. But I think one of the things we'll have to do, it'll have to be manned on Saturday. Because
Yes.
that's,
Mhm.
and
That'd be
then,
the busiest.
and then maybe we just do it one day a week, either Tuesday or Thursday or whatever day.
And do we need to go ahead and, right now, set it for, through May or something, a couple months, and then revisit
You
it?
should
see
be
how
able
many
to tell
people are-
when it slacks up. You should be able to tell that.
Yeah,
See how many people are still using it at that point?
yeah. I mean, we can revisit it in 6 or 8
Okay.
weeks, just see what the volume is and what's going on. But yes, as soon as we get someone committed to man it and we have knowing that the first day we'll have that gate open, I'll send all of you guys a text so y'all can start reaching out.
And then you'll be on Facebook.
I'll put it on social media
Social media
too.
too, or-
We'll get it, but that way y'all can reach out to all the folks in y'all's district to get it all done, but, yeah. So, all right, we have a motion by Myron and a second by Scott. All in favor?
Marty.
Marty.
I mean, yes, Marty. I
We
pointed
do
that
look
way, but I
alike.
said Myron. I don't know which one of you I need to apologize to.
I don't know who got the compliment there.
Probably.
Thank you, Marty.
I'll apologize to both of you, and we'll have a vote now. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Don't forget, a week from today at 7 o'clock at the Methodist Church is the Ag Appreciation Breakfast. Also that day, as we're into campaign season, at noon on that same day, Tuesday, there'll be a meet and greet lunch with Jonathan Shale. He's he's one of the Republican candidates for Ag Commissioner. He'll have a meet and greet at the Roxy from noon to 2. Lunch will be provided, so you can have breakfast that morning and lunch at noon if you want to be over there. And then Ryan Quarles, who will be speaking at the Ag Breakfast, is going to be in town Monday evening. There's going to be he's going to have a joint Simpson-Logan County meet and greet out at Just Piddling Farms, out off Morgantown Road at 6 o'clock Monday evening. So if y'all are inclined to want to go see some of the candidates for office in this upcoming election, that's what will be happening next week. Myron, you have anything?
No report.
Scott?
No, sir.
Jeffrey?
Nope.
Marty?
There's the sheriff invoice for vehicle. Do we need to do anything with that on here?
It's part of the claim. It says additional claim.
Oh, okay,
It's in it.
okay, all right. We're fixing, I say this every year, we're about to get busy again in the planting and spraying, and so watch for farm equipment. I don't want to see anybody pop over a curve and run into the back of a piece of equipment or anything, so just, ask people to be safe.
All right. Sheriff, anything with the sheriff's office?
Just want to thank the citizens. All our offices did fine. Took thumbs up on it. Me from jail was able to come out and help do. But a lot of citizens got their personal stuff, chainsaws, and came out and helped clear the roads.
Absolutely.
Helped all of us, and we're blessed being in Simpson County. We've always got people coming out doing things, and that's it.
Austin, anything with the county clerk? All right. Chief, anything with the fire department?
That means yes.
He can't speak at 2 meetings in a row.
Do what?
He can't speak at 2 meetings in a row. He's speaking in the.
Keep this one brief.
Well, let's keep the second one semi-brief.
Do what I can. No, I just wanted to reiterate, obviously Friday, it was a big, long day for all of us. We effectively managed 3 incidents at the same time. We had a rollover accident with a semi, and a gentleman was pinned. Had a building collapse, injured a gentleman, had a tree collapse, fell on a house, injured a lady. And we simultaneously were able to effectively mitigate those incidents. But unfortunately, the 4th incident at the same time got us, and that just happened to be the house fire. But I did want to thank a few people as part of all that. The incident out 100, wanted to thank Phelps Towing came. Patrick did a great job helping us. We had to have them to help remove the victim. And also, some of the farmers there did offer equipment. Hickman Farms supplied us with a tractor that we were able to use, in the incident. So I just wanted to thank them. And again, while we were out there, the fire came out, and we immediately requested Woodburn for some assistance and manpower. They came, did a good job for us. Just wanted to get on record and appreciate, just thanking them. And again, just to reiterate, our citizens, everywhere we went, there were trees. We were trying to go from one point, and it just, all. It was just awful. But I did see a lot of people out with tractors, a lot of farmers out tractors, people with chainsaws clearing roads, and from an emergency services standpoint, we greatly appreciate it. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
I think, one thing, Scott Hall at All Season Rent-All, they said he was out doing a lot of clearing with, helping clear the roads out. So I know there's more, but I know, so.
Well, I know he opened up early, he told me yesterday, earlier than usual,
Yeah.
on Saturday, where everybody could get chainsaws and get stuff, what they needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott brought a skid steer out, he and Mike Walters and Kevin Campbell came out together just as volunteers. Skid steers and chainsaws, but there were a lot of other people as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
It was very humbling to see people just grab chainsaws and come out and try to get stuff off the roads. So thank you.
Yeah. Bill, anything with maintenance?
Just a quick report on damage from the county. Went to every building yesterday, drove to all the substations and around as much as I could see. And the only damage we had a pretty substantial damage at the Goodnight House. It rolled up the flat standing seam roof on the second floor. It rolled it up like a sardine can. So the roofer, I called him Friday, and he was down here early Saturday morning, and he temporarily put it all back. And we're trying now to decide what kind of roof we want to put back on there, because the bare slats were showing. So he had to do something, and he got it pretty much waterproof unless we have another major wind, and that's going to take the rest of it off. So we're working on that. The only other damage we had was Sanford Duncan end sign out there. It wound up across 31W in the farmer's field over there. So we're going to go out today and pick it up. But other than that, there's no other damage that I'm aware of. Of course, on some of the buildings I couldn't get up there to see. I got as far as away as I could and tried to examine them. But right now, that's the only damage that I'm aware of. Nobody's, called anything on the other buildings. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Bill. Bobby, anything with the road department? Bob?
I'll save it for you.
Okay. All right. Counselor, I bypassed you, I'm sorry. Man.
Couple of things. Number one is, please pay your delinquent tax, or actually your late taxes. We're getting down the short rows. April 15th is when you can't pay them. They go from the sheriff's office to the clerk's office, and that's when they become delinquent. So we're just a skosh over a month away. Please make sure that you do that if you can. The longer you wait, the more it costs. Also, I've been requested by Bill and Adam to talk about proposed amendments and changes to our various administrative code regarding use of county computers and internet and various services. I've looked over it. I spoke with them about it. There were some minor changes that I recommended, but basically it would be inserted into different sections of our code, administrative code, and as I said, the stuff I've gone over, I'm at peace with the changes, and I've talked those over with Bill and Adam, particularly Adam. So that's kind of my report on that.
Are the recommended changes incorporated in what we have on our portal?
I don't know what you have on your portal, Judge.
They are? Okay.
Sorry. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know that I've done that, and Bill did what I asked. I asked him to remind me so I wouldn't forget to make this report. So thank you, Bill, for the reminder. That's all I have.
All right. Sorry, I did not mean to bypass you.
No, I just want to make sure I got my 2 cents in, because Bill would fuss at me if I didn't.
Yeah, I understand. All right. I do need a motion and a second to have a brief executive session according to KRS 61.810, paragraph 1F, personnel discussions or hearings which might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee or member.
So moved.
Motion by Marty. Second by Scott. All in favor, aye.